Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott wave update for Bitcoin. Now this video might be a little bit confusing to understand if you're a novice, so I'm going to try and explain the terms as simple as possible because we're in an area where there's a lot of things that can happen, and I'm going to just keep it to the main counts I currently have. But since the significant low have us currently within a wave 4 looking for a fifth wave to the upside, areas that do have me concerned is the fact we didn't hit that 1.618 extension of wave 1 off wave 2. To me, that means two things. That can mean we either get an extended fifth, or this becomes a 1-2 once we reach our target around 107,000, and we actually extend to the upside in our fifth wave. Option number 2 is if we actually come down for another 3-wave move, which I'm going to show you that option in a minute. This does open the possibility that this is actually 1-2-1-2. And for the bearish scenario, this becomes a series of 3-wave moves before the sell-off. Most likely as like a diagonal here. And this becomes a very complicated move, a flat pattern, and then we potentially sell off. But I'm just going to stick to the main ones. Like I said, I don't want to overcomplicate things, keep things as simple as possible, and we'll talk about each option as I update videos here. So we're going to focus in on this fourth wave I have labeled, and ideally we want this to hold to get this fifth wave to the upside. You can see we rejected off the bottom end of our pitchfork, so we really want to see this hold. We're almost at the 1-to-1 in time of wave 2 extended off of wave 3. So a couple of things we're looking at here. Now this is the bearish scenario. I thought I had a little bit more time before I discuss this, but we do have a potential completed 5-wave, most likely. So I need to show you this option. And that is that we have a 3-wave move here as an A, B, C with a triangle, A, B, C, D, E. For our W wave, we have a complex correction within our B wave here. So this is a 3 as an A, complex correction, most likely a flat and a zigzag. WXY for our B wave as a running flat. You can see our B wave made a lower low than our A wave, and then we got 5 waves up. So this is the scenario that opens up, and I took the length of our A wave off of our B wave for our C wave. You can see we hit the 1-to-1 to a tick. So that has me slightly concerned that we're going to get this 3-wave move to the downside. And if that ends up happening, I would adjust this trend line off the top of our X and our W and try and line that up to the 1-to-1 extension. But until that happens, I am still bullish, and that would take us down to about 52,500 if we hit the 1-to-1 and a 3-wave move for this Y wave. Like so. So just wanted to show you that because that is open. I know you can get kind of lost within the weeds and you see a 5-wave move up and you tend to tell yourself it must be bullish. It does not have to. Zoom out and see the other options. Now this is not my primary. This is just if we start selling off, you should be aware of that. So we'll go down to the hourly and talk about the moves down here. Right now, this is my alternative. And that is that we finished our 4th wave. We're looking for 5 waves up from here. In this scenario, we have a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. 3 nested 1-2s. Our 2nd, 3rd wave, the nested 1-2s came to the 1.618 extension. 4th, 5th, and our 3rd wave in blue came basically to the 2.618 extended 3rd wave target. And we're looking for our 4th wave up around 69,760. I extended the length of our wave 1 in blue off of our wave 4. That's the target. I've explained several times what I tend to do is put on a channel from the beginning of wave 1 off of wave 2, extended off wave 1. That's modified pitchfork. That is just a channel. If you got a channel, looking for the top side of that to hold. So if this is the count, we should get a 5-wave move to the upside, and then our larger correction as a larger 1 and 2. Perfectly valid as well. Currently, this looks like a zigzag ABC. in that scenario, which I don't love because we want alternation, right? We got zigzags here for our 1-2s. So we expect triangles or flats for the most part. We got a zigzag. So that doesn't bode well for this currently, unless this ends up turning into some sort of triangle, which can eat up a lot of time. And then we get our 5th wave, and that would change our target as well, because we'd have to move it from the end of the 4th. So keeping an eye on this, looking for this to also potentially just make a flat and then come up as an A, B, C, higher high, protect the A wave. So that's how this count stays intact. But if we come any lower than the current price, I would suggest the fact that we are complete. This is actually currently my primary. There's things I don't like about this count as well. We're kind of in between two counts, so we'll see how this resolves. In this one, we have our leading diagonal. Instead of a 1-2, 1-2, we only have a diagonal, and that's a 1-2. Third wave came only to the 1.382, which I don't love about it. We usually want the 1.618. And our 5th came just past the 1.618, which does happen sometimes at the change of a trend. So I'm not extremely surprised. I just would have preferred us come to the 1.618 to get extremely confident on this. So in this scenario, we have an ABC. So I would expect a double zigzag. Remember, we're in a wave 2. We want a sharp correction. So I'd expect a WXY, a double zigzag. In this scenario, we're looking for an X wave. So we'd expect kind of between the 382 and the 618. If we pass the 90%, then it would, because this is a 3, then it would most likely be a flat, where we'd expect a 5-wave move down, and this would become an ABC. And we can also come as high as 69 and 70 for that B wave. It's important to watch this wave. Is it 5 waves or is it 3? So in this scenario, looking for a complex correction for our X wave, even a simple ABC is fine, and then another 3-wave move down, and this becomes our wave 2, and we're looking for that zone between the 382 and the 618. Now, depending how high we come, we will end up targeting that zone. You get right on those pivots for next video. And we're looking for a 1-to-1. So we'll see how high we come. X waves can take a long time. They can be short. And there's no real expected Fibonacci levels for a retracement in X waves. So if you're trading this, just pay very close attention and just look for 3-wave moves, right? Okay, so that is the bullish scenarios I'm looking for. Now, bearish scenarios, where this is our C wave high in the flat, you're going to have to consider the fact that this is a 1-2, 1-2. So in the bearish scenario, we don't want to break this high. We want to make a 3-wave move and just collapse, right? So that's how we would look for the collapse to start. So we'll see which one we get. Right now I'm hedged. I'll probably pay attention to this zone here, and if there's a pretty clear correction, like a zigzag, very deep retracements, overlap, I'll probably close my my long and just play this Y wave to the downside. But if we come very high to like the 90%, obviously I'll be expecting a flat, and then I'll close my short down in this zone down here. But I'll update that along the way. Sorry for the lack of updates. I was out of town. I'm just trying to get things back up here again. But that's what we're looking for, guys. We'll see what we get. Right now, this is my bias, that we get a double zigzag, ABC, ABC. Put that to one lesser degree, like so. And we'll pull those pivots wherever that X wave ends. And again, so we're looking for that, or a fifth wave to the upside to around 70,000. But you can see in both the B wave expectation and the hourly zone, it's very important to count the waves in here. Because is it making a fifth wave or is it making a B wave? But both ways, the direction will be to the downside after. All right, guys, that's it for BTC. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.